Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. I could not decide yet on what charities to support this month, so for now we still have the fundraiser going for Food for Life Global, and the unique viewers count for this month will go toward whatever charity I finally decide on. I wanted to find a bee charity or a pollinator charity that did not encourage beekeeping, because beekeeping is actually counterproductive to the efforts to conserve bees across the planet. But anyway, I will find something. I just wanted something thematic for April, for spring. So anyway, it's a mystery charity of the month right now. And today is Wednesday, so it means it's time for some illustration. Since I could not decide on a charity, I am getting started way late. I've left myself only a little bit more than an hour to work. I think it's not just that I couldn't decide on the charity and I took forever trying to decide. It's also the fact that I'm coming back from my 2-week vacation, so my setup was not in place. I had to get everything set up. And I think that my camera is a little bit off to the side. Whatever, it's fine. And on top of that, I'm not feeling that great today. I think I'm coming down with a cold. I think I got the con plague. I finally went to a fan convention this weekend, and I think I got the con plague. So, which is just so ironic, because that's the reason why I was avoiding conventions all this time for so many years. It's like I didn't want to get sick anymore. Now, as soon as I go back to a convention, it's time to get sick. But anyway, I am working on my birthday Gryphon illustration for 2024. I really, really hope to finish it this month so that I can send it out to patrons. I had got my drawing kit separated because I wanted to draw during the convention that I went to, but it turned out they didn't have any spaces for you to just sit down and just people watch or draw. So I was not able to draw anything during the convention, and I am putting it back together now so that it's all here in my main case. This is my Inktober branded one. And then my pens, put them back in my awesome 3D printed pen holder. I'm doing this on stream because I was not able to do anything else to get ready, so I was like, I gotta just get started. Oh wait, I remember I wanted to put small ones on top, big ones on them. I wanted to just get started, even if it meant doing some of this stuff on stream. I figured it's better than nothing. Okay, so big ones on bottom. Wait, go on this side? It's a small, no, because we'll go tiniest on this side, then the next size, then the next size. So these are 3 different lines under the Pigma name. So first the 6 micron sizes, then the single PN size, and then the 2 graphic sizes. Yay! Got my pens in. I won't even need those for today. But I wanted to get them put away so that I could have all this stuff back where I expect it to be. Man, I gotta spend some time tidying up my studio as well. It's so... the piles of stuff in here are just getting bigger and bigger. It's getting to be unmanageable, and I can't find anything. I lost my credit cards over the weekend. It turned out they were just in a pile of stuff in here. So I think that's a sign that I gotta go out of my way. Go out of my way to get some more. Okay, okay. I don't even remember where I am in the project. I need to go out of my way to tidy up my studio. Okay, so we were on, so I don't need any of this stuff, so I can put this stuff away. Or at least stack it in another pile. Ah, here you are. Here's my painting. Yay! Cha-chong! Okay. So I actually don't think I need this drawing kit. I'm going to set it over here with the other stuff. Now that I've got it packed back up correctly, I wish I could tell. Let me see something. Okay, so that's okay. And okay. So my camera is a little bit off to the side from where I normally put it, but it's not going too far either way, so I'll just leave it like this. I'll get my painting down like this. And I need my little cart. My cart with all my painting stuff. Oops. Alright. I'm going to have to leave for a second to get some water. I don't have water for my watercolor paints. Here's the... We used this last time, that's right. So that's going to be really fun. That's what we'll start with today. Painting over this area where we use the masking fluid. So put that there, and let's see, I don't need this sponge right now. Let's set that there. This palette I don't think I need. Here's my paints. Yes, okay. Gotta do this a special way to get it to not, it catches right, oh you can't see, it catches right here when I open it. So I have to like push it so that it comes up instead of just bending the plastic. I don't know if that makes any sense. Explaining it here, I'll try to show you. Yeah, that snap. So it like gets stuck open like this. And if I try to force it, it starts bending in the middle. So what I have to do is set it down and hold this, and then I can push up with this hand, with my left hand, and then it'll go down. So stick this up here. I guess. How come it won't go any further? Ah, my keyboard is in the way. There we go. There we go. Alright, got my nice brushes. What size of brush do I need? Maybe this sort of medium-ish size. Got my towel, got my brush. Okay, so I'm going to be right back. Fill this bowl with some water. Okay, I'm back. I got my bowl of water. Yay! Let me take my slippers back off. I like to have my shoes off while I'm sitting at my desk working. So then I can easily, like right now I've got one leg up like this and one leg down like this. I have a chronic back pain, so I can't sit in one position for very long, even in the so-called ergonomic position with your feet on the ground and your back straight against the chair like that. I can't even sit in that position for that long without it starting to trigger my pain. So being able to do lots of different poses with my legs lets me keep the pain at bay. So I can paint for 2 hours. Yay! Well, today it's just going to be an hour, but it's better than nothing. That's what I figure. It's better than nothing, even being late. That's not what I used to figure when I was younger. I was so perfectionistic that if I couldn't do it perfectly, then I wouldn't do it at all. But that's not me anymore. So now I'm just going to open all my reference images in tabs. Alright, here's one of these little guys swimming. Oh, this is so many tabs. Okay, hold on. I'm going to send this to a new window so I can open it separately and still see the chat. And we'll put this one over there. There, now I have 2 instances of Firefox with all my reference images for the cormorants. So we'll just set this one on this side. And make it a bit smaller. And I gotta pull OBS up so that, there we go. Excellent. Okay, so we're on the tails, and the tails need to be the same color as, so I see, I'm seeing where I am, so this same blackish brownish color for the baby ones. And I'm remembering as I'm saying this that the baby ones have this blackish brownish color, but the adults have a little bit more of a green tint to their feathers and fur. Because I decided that the black feathers of the cormorant I will use as the color for the rest of the Gryphon, which is the bottom half of the Gryphon, or the back half of the Gryphon is a tiger quoll. They are brown naturally, but I decided to keep it consistent from head to tail for the Gryphon version. So happily, there's plenty of pigment here from last time, so I'm just going to wake it up with some water. Probably will have to mix some more before I'm done, but we'll see how far we can get with this. Hold on, there's a little freaking little cat hair in my... Come here, little... Or maybe it's a dog hair, but it's so fine, it's probably a Kiki hair. Did I get it? Nope. There. I think I got it. I use this old brush for stuff like that. The tip is all messed up, so I don't use it for painting, but for little stuff like that, it's actually great. That's just some pigment. Okay. Yay. Okay, let's get a little bit more water in here and start painting. So we'll just paint right on top of the tail where we have that masking fluid already in place from last time. One of these days I really hope to find my old streaming camera so that I can have 2 cameras, and the second one can be on the side and a little close-up view of what I'm doing. I have no idea where it is. It's the same brand as the one I'm currently using. It's just not quite as good. It's an older version. So I know exactly what it looks like. I know what the box looks like, but I can't find it. My husband found me a little webcam of his, but the cord is way too short to reach, so that's another issue. Is in order to reach my PC, I stream through my PC, but it's like 6, 7, maybe even 8 feet away over there. So you need like a 12-foot cable because it's got to go around stuff. It's not a straight line. Even this camera is not plugged into the PC, but plugged into my Wacom tablet monitor. So that saves it like 3 feet of space that it needs to reach. But I have no more slots on the Wacom that are close to this workspace. There might be slots on the other side of the Wacom, but that's like right next to the PC tower, so it doesn't really save any space. It does, if there are any, it does help if I need a USB plug-in. Because I am out of USB plugins, that's another thing. Too many USB stuff. Oh, Wolf, hello! Hello, hello! Maybe even 9? What was I saying when you said that? How are you? Thank you for joining me! Yay! My first chatter since going on my birthday vacation. Hope you've been well over the past couple weeks. going to use my little retired brush again. There's another pet hair on here. Got it. Boom. Maybe other people wouldn't care about little pet hairs being on here, but I care, so I'm going to get them off. They're so distracting. It's not what I want it to look like. Oh, and Exie is here. Hello! Yay! Oh, thank you so much! Yay! 17 months, holy crap! Awesome! Yay! Thank you for joining me! How are you? How are you both? I'm so glad you're able to join me on my first stream back, especially because I was so late getting started. Let's see. So I want to let this dry first before I do this tail here. Might be dry enough to do this wing. Feels damp still. So let's do this baby one back here next. Oh, excellent. Yay, I'm always glad to hear it. How are you? Oh, thank you. I'm great. Well, I'm kind of sick, but other than that, I had a great time. Yeah, my vacation. I'm nice and charged up. Mentally charged up, but because of I think I caught the con plague from going to the convention this past weekend. So I've been starting to feel sick since last night. I mean, last night it was weird. I wouldn't even call it sick. I just didn't feel well. But today I'm like, oh, that's what it was. I think that I have a cold or something. It's really annoying, but it's not so bad that I need to take some medicine or something. So I've just been dealing with it. But, yeah, I had an awesome vacation. My husband got me for my birthday a fan package because Sean Astin was at that convention, and so I got to get Sean Astin's autograph in person and take a selfie together. So that was pretty awesome. That was worth getting the con plague for. And also, I feel all right about it because even though it seems I caught the con plague, I wore my mask the whole time, so hopefully I did not transmit it to anyone, even though I got it. Or at least I did my best to minimize my transmission potential. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, hopefully it'll be like the last time I caught a cold and I'm just sort of just don't quite feel right, but it's not that bad. And because the last time I caught a cold was a few months ago, I think, and yeah, I just I didn't need any medicine or anything, just needed to rest and take things a little slower than usual. Okay, I gotta remember these baby cormorants have like a bald face. I want to get, I'm finding one of the references of the baby ones again. Well, juvenile ones. So I can make sure to paint the face correctly. I'm pretty sure I know. Let's see. There's a juvenile one with the completely... Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Ah, this picture's adorable too. Okay. Yep. It's got the bald face. I hate being sick though, even if you don't need medicine. It's just so annoying. Like, I feel weirdly weak. Like, my muscles are just like weak. And it feels so... Oh, I smushed the watercolor. And it spread onto the other part of the page. Whoopsie. Oh, can't do anything about that. Anyway. Yeah, my muscles are all like, nope. So, today I normally try to go on a... Let's see, Wednesday. So Wednesday is a hill run. We have a nice big hill that's really good for repeat work. To just run down the hill and run up the hill a few times. And I was like, oh, I cannot do this. So I just went on a longer than usual walk with my dog instead. Just my body was just like, nope, nope, nope. Not today. And I hate that. It's annoying. It's annoying to feel like you should be fine, but there's just something off, and you're not fine, but you're not terrible either. I am happy that I'm well enough to, even if it took me almost an hour to finally get started, to sit down and make some more progress on this piece. So it's been so long. It's been 2 weeks since I looked at it. Indeed, 2 weeks since I looked at it, because I've been storing it in my closet for safekeeping, so it wasn't even like just sitting out for me to see it or anything. Once I'm done painting this little Gryphon in the background, I should definitely be able to paint the rest of the foreground one. Be right back. Okay, see you when you get back. I'm glad I'm at this point in the piece. It's a good point for not being 100%, not being 100% well, I mean, because there's not a huge amount of critical thinking and decision making necessary. It's just like follow the routine at this point. Ah, no, I did a little splash up there. Didn't want to splash. This one is done, I think. For this is just the base layer. Yeah, I'll leave the claws for later. Let's come in and paint some more of these ones that are closer to the viewer. Another thing that was really great about the convention was I felt so inspired to get back to work. Seeing all of these, all the things that I love, like anime. It was a Comic Con, so it had all the things. But I was especially inspired by all the anime stuff and all of the fantasy stuff. And since Sean Astin was a guest, there was tons of Middle-earth stuff, which that's like my favorite thing. I have a huge Tolkien collection, like half of which I inherited from my mom, and I am a third-generation Tolkien fan. My grandma was the first one to get into the books, and then my mom got into them, and then so I just grew up with them. So yeah, seeing all that stuff, and one of the sort of newer Tolkien artist was there as a guest too. He was featured in the Tolkien calendar last year. I get the Tolkien calendar every year. And so that was awesome, because I feel like he, as an illustrator, is a few steps ahead of me. So it was really great to meet someone. I only spoke to him briefly. I bought his 2 art books and told him about how I first heard of him from the calendar and how excited I was because of that to see that he would be here. And he said that the calendar was his like breakthrough moment. So it's like, wow, so that was just last year. This just gave me hope for my own efforts. I just keep trying. I just keep making stuff. And I am so close to done with my novel too. So that's really exciting. Even with, it's like my body is not quite right from this cold, and then my brain is also just, it's just a little slower than usual. Just can't get myself to do anything as quickly and efficiently as usual. But I was still able to add another 300-ish words to my first draft manuscript today, so I think that's a win. Okay. This is definitely going to need another layer. And the tails too, so we will not be pulling off of the tails. Oh, I didn't do this one's tail. We will not be pulling the masking fluid off of the paper for quite a while. Probably not today, and who knows if it'll be tomorrow either, because you basically want to get everything on that you don't want to be on that paper. So that includes shading, and then you can add shading later. As soon as you remove that masking fluid, you won't be able to get that back, that coverage or protection back. So I want to make sure that all the area around it is painted how I want before I remove that masking fluid. It's really fun, but really labor intensive to remove it. You have to use this like rubbery, sticky eraser thing. I think it's called a rubber cement eraser. And it can really rub your fingers raw if you have to use it for a long time, but these are just some small areas, so hopefully you'll be all right. Okay. So we've got at least a base layer of color down for everything for the baby griffins, unless I want to, let's do a little bit on the claws for this baby one back here. I'm just almost out of pigment of this stuff that I mixed last time, so I'd really like to use the same mixture if possible. Can't believe my bit rate's still messed up. It was alright when I started. Never figured out why it started having an issue. So the last thing I tried was doing a little test through Twitch's testing tool for bitrate, and it was like, your bitrate is great. So it was not very helpful. Admittedly, I did it at a different time of day. So if I can remember to test on, maybe test on a Tuesday at the same time as I would normally stream, and then see what that does. Maybe the time of day has to do with it. Ooh, Chappie's snoring. My husband took her on a little, Chappie is my small dog, took her, she's not that small, but she's 35-ish pounds, and he took her on a little run today. And she was so tired afterwards. She loves it though. She was laid on the ground like panting. Okay. What color next? There's hardly anything left to do. For base colors, I mean. Guess I could move on to, oh wait, what am I thinking? This baby one needs the whole front part done. And there's no pigment left. Well, I'll have to mix some. I'll do my best to remember how I mixed it last time. Pretty sure I started with black as the base. that's probably enough. And then added some brown. I am almost out of this dark brown color in here. It's just little tiny pieces. Yeah, we need a lot more. Try to get a big bunch of water in there. Just filling up the brush with water and then scraping it off. And then smushing the watercolor chunks into the water, and so that the pigment will release. Alright, how's that? Oh, that's pretty good. I think a little bit more brown. Just a tiny bit more brown. Oh, maybe I need more black now. Dang it. Okay, let's add a little bit more black. Okay, let's call that good. And paint this whole big front part. The chest, the neck, and the top part of the head, basically. I'm painting the Gryphons in sections so that there'll be these natural lines left when the newly applied wet watercolor hits the previously applied and now dry watercolor. Then it creates this natural line in between. And for sections like this where it's just all a very dark color in the first place, it helps to make things more discernible. Of course, we will also be using contrast eventually, highlight and shadow, to help as well, but I like to do lots of different things to get my visual point across. Yep, my back is starting to hurt. Okay, I'll switch my legs up a little bit. That's the weirdest part about this cold. I'm calling it a cold because I have no idea what it is. It's not that bad, so let's just call it a cold. It's just giving me muscle soreness as if I did a really good workout. But I definitely didn't, because all I've done over the past 2 weeks really is walk my dogs. Yesterday I did do a Ring Fit adventure workout, but it was entirely upper body stuff, so there's no reason why my legs should be this sore. So it's just really weird. Ooh, Aoife is growling in her sleep. Aoife is my big dog. She's sleeping under the desk over there. Well, she stopped growling. She saw a few dogs on our walk this morning, so maybe she's dreaming about that. We've been walking the dogs separately because we got them some training last year, and it worked really well at the time, but we realized this year that there are some limitations to the training technique, and so like I cannot take both dogs out for a walk together because Aoife gets excited if Chappie gets excited, and Chappie easily gets excited. And so if, say, like a dog comes around the corner and Chappie's like, ah, and Aoife's like, oh, heck yeah, I'm up for this. And then I'm like just there struggling to hold them and keep them not lose grip on the leashes, you know. So until we can get some other kind of training, we're just taking them separately. So I take Aoife in the morning. My husband takes Chappie sometime during the rest of the day. And then that way they're still getting their walks, but there's no worry about what if a dog comes around the corner. Okay, now I really did get all of the black parts on the baby Gryphons. So for the adult feathers, let's just move on to the adult feathers because that's the biggest thing that's left. And there are some areas like around in the nest, these little parts that are in between the branches that I drew. Probably a good idea to paint those in as well. But let's do something more fun. With the amount of time that we have left, there's only half an hour left. The black for, if I'm remembering correctly, the black for these adult cormorants is got more of a green tint. And that's not necessarily something that I noticed myself from the reference photos that I've been looking at. It was something I believe was written on Wikipedia. And heck, whether or not that's true in nature, let's just make it true for these Gryphons because I love that idea. And it helps make them more discernible. Helps make them visibly discernible from one another, the small ones versus the big ones. The children versus the adults. So I got a bunch of nice like forest green on there, and let's just add some blacks to it. I think I can see a difference, so I'm going to try adding a little bit of green. See if maybe a little bit more green. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. That's a nice, like, emerald black. Ooh, me likey. Me likey. Okay, half an hour left. Ugh, and this freaking muscle soreness. It feels like I've been streaming for longer because of it. Ah! Okay. Hang in there, me. Since this is still drying, I'm going to start over here with this little fellow. Oh shoot, I think this part is supposed to be white. I think it's just the feathers. Or the feathers and the wings. This part. There we go. Yeah, I think the chest is white. Let me go to a reference image. Oh, Exie, welcome back. Thank you. Yes, yes. Okay, it's the chest. Woo. I almost put the paint on the wrong spot. Ooh, yeah, you can really tell the difference with the paint on the page. Well, we just have this little mark right here. That's just going to be how it is, I guess. I could try scrubbing it off a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Let me finish painting this wing. Try scrubbing it a little bit, though that takes the stuff from the wing. Boop. happy to see that it survived the trip. It's not like I had any suspicions about whether it would survive or not, but I have had postcards even within the same, like, general area. I think what happens is they get sort of entangled in the sorting machines, and then they arrive in sad conditions. So knowing that the postcard had so far to travel, I was like, I hope it makes it. Please let it make it. And so he sent me the picture, and I was like, yay, look at it. It's like almost in perfect condition. So yay, I'm so glad that you like it too. Yay, thank you for giving it a home. I was like, oh no, what do I do? I already, because it had the Patreon message printed on the back too, so it was such a relief. It was such a relief that you wanted to take it. And now I have little Gryphons on the other side of the world. That's so cool. Yay. When I used to I used to do Artist Alley stuff, and I sold a lot of pin back buttons with my art on it. And so I used to, a long time ago, have a map of the world with little pins that I'd put in anytime I sold something in a different, like a way different place. So I think that I sold some buttons to someone in Africa, and I can't remember, Australia. Anyway, I was like keeping track of all the places that my artwork had gone in the form of buttons. So it sort of reminds me of that. Ooh, this is a very teeny tiny space right here. Oh, it's so small. It's so small. Okay, I did it. Did it. Now I'll just have to clean this part up, and I'll just use Photoshop at the end, because all of these pieces get Photoshop work anyway. So it's not even like I'm going out of my way to clean up that little spot. So I consider myself a mixed media illustrator. It was cool in my illustration class. There was something, I don't know if it was something specific that my professor said, but he basically made me feel like I had permission to mix digital and physical media. Because he would show us how he did his work, and he was doing that like crazy. And in my classes, I also learned that, like, Photoshop is basically the standard for professional illustration work, that ultimately you need to be able to send it in Photoshop format, stuff like that. So I don't know, I'd always grown up with people talking about digital art and digital tools as if they were cheating. I'm like, this is just as hard. Everybody calling it cheating must not have actually tried making a piece with it, because it's just as hard. In fact, there's a lot of things about digital art creation that's harder than physical art, because at least physical art, there's a certain point where you can't do anything more, but digital art has the undo button. So you have this extra layer of decision making, this temptation. All right, I want to let this little Gryphon dry so that I can move on to these ones. I'll probably do this one next, but I don't want to have another mishap like right here. So I think you can tell that I'm sick because I keep making little mistakes like this. So maybe it's actually a good thing that my stream is only about half as long as usual, so that I don't keep making more mistakes. While this one dries, I wanted to hold it up, and maybe you can tell, I mean, this paint is still fairly wet, so it's hard to really compare, but how this black I mixed with brown, and then this black I mixed with green, and then by the end, hopefully, they will look noticeably different from each other, but still both look like black feathers and fur. Oh, where's my water bottle? I'm gonna have some water. It's in my shaker bottle, that's why there's a shaker noise. I have my morning smoothie. Well, by the time I have it, it's almost afternoon, but it's my breakfast / lunch. This giant green smoothie I make for myself every night. And so then I just fill it up again with water after I'm done so that I can get all the rest of the little nutrients and stuff that's stuck on the side of the bottle. Ah! Okay, let's set that back down. Is this dry yet? Not quite. Well, I think as long as I'm careful. This is dry. So I can set my hand here and paint this one up. This is so big though, we're gonna have to use a bigger brush than this. So let's clean this one out. Well, rinse it out. Rinse it out as well as we can. Boop. Okay. I'll set that over there for now. And how big? I've got this huge one. This might be too big though. It's got some little messed up, what do we call it? Filaments? Okay, that one's too big. So you have these two. Which one's bigger? This one? Ah, yes. 6, 8. Maybe do the 8? 8 might be too big. Okay. Do the 6. Size 6, and I need to remember this time that it's not a baby one that's completely black. It's an adult one. So the underneath, so like the chin, the cheeks, and the sides. So it's like the back of the neck and onto the sides. But the chest is all white. So I guess it would be like a little white like this. Or maybe we should make the white go all the way down. Yeah, I think we'll make the white go all the way down even onto the mammal half of the griffin. Okay. Start with the head. Top of the head's all black. So this part's pretty easy. Such a big area. It's drying before I can get everything in that I'm trying to get in. Because these spiky hairs along the edges takes a little longer. Well, not hair. This part's feather. Anyway, it's taking me longer. This is not just a smooth edge. I have to use the tip of the brush to make little spiky shapes. Alright, there we go. Now, this is where I need to make a decision. So it should be from the cheeks and the chin. So maybe like this. Which parts are showing black feathers along the neck? And it comes down into the wing. This one is so big, I think we're going to run out of pigment before we can do the middle griffin. Well, at least even if we can't get to the middle Gryphon today, I'll be back tomorrow, so there won't be a huge break, and I will remember which colors I used to mix the pigment, and I may even remember exactly, or at least close enough, how much green and how much black, or what the desired mixture looked like. Maybe. Yeah, it is nice to have a 2-week break sometimes, because that really feels like a vacation. But on the other hand, it makes it harder to come back just because it's hard to remember where you left off in your projects. It's not a reason to not take a longer break. It's just something you have to deal with, or at least I have to deal with. So if I work on something every day, it's really easy. It's really easy to remember what I was doing and to get back into it each day. This is just a little bit at a time. Oh, awesome. Yay. I'm glad to hear it. Yay, thank you. Hope it comes together nicely by the end. It probably will. It usually does. It does feel... I mean, it makes sense because these are just the base colors, but it feels pretty flat so far. So I'm looking forward to adding more dynamic ranges and maybe even a little bit more pigment to certain areas, especially on the birthday stuff, making that more vibrant. I'm glad that you like the colors already, though, even considering that it's just this flat stuff. Ooh, can I fit this in here? Ah, this is a very tiny spot. I'll do my best. So tiny. This adult's other front foot, it's a really cramped area to paint with this size of a brush. But it's working. It's working. No, there's another pet hair on here. I got it. Yay! This is why, I know I say it all the time, but this is why I love round brushes. Like the tip shape is called round. And I love it because if it's got a good tip on it, you can fill big areas quickly, but then you can also paint relatively small areas with the same brush without having to change brushes. Oh, maybe this little part right here too. There. Okay, hopefully this is dry. I was saving this leg on purpose to get the same effect that I was getting here by painting wet next to dry in order to get a natural line. So let's paint this back leg now. I was going to say black leg. It is a black leg. But I meant to say back leg, and I was putting back and leg together. Then it was confusing because it wasn't wrong. The weird word that came out was not necessarily wrong. Okay, there is still the foot below, but I want to do the same thing and let that dry. So what else? I don't think there's anything else that's black on here because I was going to let the belly stay white. so let's move on to this one. The wings are open so, taking up so much space, I think I can continue using this brush. Maybe there's these teeny tiny feathers. There. Okay, I did it. And this one, small feather. There. This paper is so thirsty. I keep thinking I got the brush wet enough, and then it's like, nope, dry brush effect. Dry brush effect in effect. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. I made my vegan fried steak. I called it vegan fried steak. It's just a vegan version of my childhood favorite, which is called chicken fried steak. And I was like, vegan fried steak is a good name, because chicken fried steak didn't make sense anyway, because there's no chicken in it. It was not a chicken recipe, but that's what it was called. And so it's just the same recipe, but with vegan meat alternatives. We use Beyond Meat this time, but I've used Impossible as well, and it's also good. And I made a whole package of it, so there was two. I made it last night, so I'm gonna have my leftovers today for dinner. I'm looking forward to that, because that's my favorite. You just basically make like a patty, like you would with a hamburger, and then dip it in, well, first you season it. And I realized yesterday when I made it, all this time I've had this list of seasonings that I prefer to use. It turns out it's all the same stuff that's in Creole seasoning, which is like a brand thing, like so-and-so's Creole seasoning or something. And I was like, oh, I don't have to put all these separate seasonings in. There was this other recipe I made recently that called for that specific Creole seasoning, and so we just used that, and now we could just continue using it for my favorite recipe. So that was convenient. Instead of putting 5 different things in, I just put the one thing in. Anyway, you season it with Creole seasoning, I know now, and then dip it in flour, both sides, then dip it in some sort of whatever your favorite vegan egg replacement is. I use the Bob's Red Mill vegan egg replacer. And then once you dunk it on both sides with that, and then you dunk it in panko breadcrumbs, and then you shallow fry it in a pan in some oil. And it's super good. I like to serve it with mashed potatoes. So that's what we had, mashed potatoes and gravy with the vegan fried steak. But it was way too much. I could not finish it yesterday, so got the leftovers in a casserole dish waiting for me. Just pop it in the oven. Okay, let's see. So the black feathers do go around the eye, but sort of only halfway. And then the bottom half is the white feathers. And then the black comes all the way up to the beak. Alright, and then here's the other side of the face. Alright. Yeah, nice. I had to switch to this tinier brush. There was just no way. There's no way I could get those details with the larger brush. This is a size 4. Is it the same brand? Yeah, it's also Princeton. Not all brushes have the same size. It's not a universal sizing system. Because I'll have a brush that says 2 and then a brush that says 2, and then you compare them and you're like, this one is way bigger than the other one. But usually within the same brand you'll get, you can trust, even if it's different lines. So like this is Princeton Elite and this is Princeton Kolinsky Sable. But since it's both Princeton, the sizes are compatible? I don't know the word. Anyway, I guess it's that you can trust that a size 2 will be smaller than a size 4 among Princeton brushes. Alright, moving our way across. 8 minutes left. 8 minutes. I think I can finish this. Let's see, and then the front feet are black. Yeah, I think I can finish using this paint in that time. Oh, we'll see though. We'll see. So I want these to dry. So I'm going to move back over here and do this little foot that I was saving. 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. Alright, and I left the claw white. I believe the claws on the back feet are... Oh, well, now I'm not sure. Hold on, let me look up the tiger quoll. Oh, I'm not going till 4:30? Oh, yay! Thanks for telling me. See, I'm not at 100%. There's still plenty of time. Yay! I don't even know what time it is. I thought I got started an hour late. It was only half an hour. Hooray! It wasn't so bad as I thought. Okay, tiger quoll. I'm glad you said something because I would have just quit early. Okay, yeah. Here's the cute tiger quoll, and their claws are clearly a light color. Though I suppose I am making the... Oh, it's hard to decide now. I'm making the fur black instead of brown. I'll keep the claws light colored on the back. This is the only one where you'd be able to see it though, so maybe yeah, let's forget it, because this is the only one that is close enough to see. Let's just make it the same color as the front claws. Wow, I'm going to be able to get a lot more done than I thought. I thought it was so late when I got started. Okay, so on this side, I think I need to add a little bit more. I think I need to mix more color too. This is just not enough. But over here, add a little bit of black feathers on the body where the wing, below where the wing connects. And then let's paint in these back toes. And the back toes on this side. Okay, let's mix some more color. I'm going to use my big brush to mix, so then it's easier to get a lot of pigment at once. This is green, this like emerald green. And some black. Is that good, or do I want, maybe want a little bit more black pigment? Okay, that's good. Maybe I also wanted to end early because I'm feeling so hungry. Suddenly feeling so hungry. Maybe I'll drink some more water. That'll fill me up. Let's paint this other wing. Start over here and move to the left. And the body is slightly angled this way, so we won't see this little bit of feathers coming onto the body on the left side here because of the way it's rotated. And here are these little tiny feathers poking out from behind the tree branch. I mean, they're tiny on the page. They're not tiny relative to the Gryphon that they belong to. They're even more separated for these larger feathers. I think something I might like to do with this piece is paint even more in the background. I've added a little bit of texture, but it's still quite light, and I'd like it to be a little bit more green, like give not just a hint of greenery, but look like a lush green background. And that will also help these garlands of white flowers stand out. It was like right here, they're totally lost in the background as it is. So if I paint the background more, then those can stand out. Alright, anything? Oh, I didn't do these front feet. I'm going to do the front feet on this one. Oh, shoot! I dropped my brush! I made a big flop on the front. No! There. Pat it up with a little bit of water towel. Well, that's the theme for today. Little splashes of paint everywhere that I didn't intend to do. There. If nobody believed me that I'm not feeling quite right, there is now video evidence. Okay. Oh, another little pet hair on here. Okay, got it. Okay, hand, hold on to the brush, please. Please hold on to the brush. Don't drop it. Hold on. Okay, here we go. These feet are so much darker looking because I used the dregs of the last batch of paint that I mixed. for the back feet, and the front feet are getting this nice new batch. And then the leg part. Yeah, boom. Whew. Anywhere else that I want to put this color paint? Okay. I think all the basic bits are done. Although I guess I didn't do the face. Oh, what color did I use for this? Was it this? I didn't do the face part. I only did the beak of this backmost baby Gryphon. I guess maybe this is a approximation of that color. We'll find out. We'll find out. Make sure that there was no wet part that I put my hand in, because that's what I did at the very beginning here. Well, this is alright. This color's alright. Especially if I add some more water to thin it out. I think this is the last little bit of any foreground that I wanted to add some paint to. Okay. Ah, there. I think the next thing I want to work on is the negative space. Here in the nest, these areas that are in between these sticks and in between the leaves, and they're just white right now. Well, not white, they're that light green color that I put down for the initial wash. But they should definitely be darker than this. So I think I shall paint that next. But I gotta think about what color do I want to make it. So the branches are this gray, they're sort of like this sun-bleached gray tan color. So maybe... Oh, do I want to put more black there, though? It's hard because I don't want to give up this color. But I used gray to make these. And the gray I use is just a really watered down black. Let's just go ahead and do it. Put some black down. We'll mix it in with the yellow and then it'll give it a little more of a tan color, maybe? We'll see. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Especially since I've had so many mishaps today. It's nice to hear that. It's encouraging. just add a lot of water. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna paint these little negative space areas. This is especially going to be nice for these foreground flowers here in the bottom corner. This is just a single petal right here, and you can't even really tell that's what it is because it just fades into everything else. So having these darker areas next to it will hopefully help it stand out. This is quite dark though, so I might use the towel to lighten it up a little bit. Of course it will lighten up as it dries. Maybe I should just go for it. So maybe it seems dark right now in comparison to everything else, but I am going to what am I trying to say? Well, I'm going to be darkening all of the colors quite a bit by the end. So let's just go with it and see what happens. Aw, thank you. That's so good to hear. Yay, I'm really glad to hear that. Sometimes this, I have enough experience that I can usually control things and not have any surprises, but sometimes stuff like this happens. I've had, it was even on live stream. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think the masking fluid or something. I used some masking method in a piece and it didn't work at all. So I had to completely, I mean, I guess that's where the real creativity comes in, is when something unexpected happens, and I just had to completely change what I was doing, or well, not completely change, but there was this huge element I had to add in order to get a result that I liked now with this unexpected thing happening. So I'm glad that you appreciate it in that way. It's encouraging. Your words are always encouraging. Thank you. Also, I love that little duck thing. That little duck emote. Yeah, this is already grounding the Gryphons better. Having this dark paint in the negative spaces of the nest. These little sections where the Gryphon is sitting on it should definitely be darker because it's cast in shadow. I have to admit, this is pretty tedious right here. Doing this is fairly tedious. But it's another instance of, yes, live streaming my illustration work was the right choice, because I keep thinking about getting up and getting a snack. So No, I don't want to be eating on stream. That's one of the most annoying noises is people eating. When you're not eating, you know? At least to me. I don't want to do that. So, instead of procrastinating with a snack, I'm continuing to carry on. Get the tedious work done. It's always worth it to push on through. I've never regretted pushing through and getting some tedious thing done, but I have regretted not getting it done sooner. Oh, the stomach really is growling though. Let's take a break for a minute to sip some water. Well, not sip. I'm gonna gulp. I always gulp out of here. Okay. More painting. Keep going. Keep going, me. You got this. I think it's time that normally I'd be taking a break by now, but there's only 15 minutes left, so I think I'm just gonna keep working. For real, there's only 15 minutes left. It's no mistake this time. This is really 15 minutes. Well, 16 minutes. We want to be... Well, less than 16, but more than 15 because the clock still has not changed to 15 yet. Oh, there it goes. Now it's less than 15 minutes because the seconds are counting down. Hold on. There's another little pet hair on here. Use my old brush to scoop it up. These flowers are really standing out so much more. Thanks to adding that. Even though, like, right now the black is standing out a little bit too much. This black, I meant it to be gray. I guess it's sort of gray, but it's mostly black. And, even so, these flowers they're not lost anymore. So I think I shall do what I said and paint in the background. After I finish this, I'm not going to move on to another thing without finishing this, but then that way these garlands will stand out better. This is the point in the piece where I feel overwhelmed by the amount of work that's still left to be done, even though, or perhaps because of, I've done so much work, because I've done so much work already, but there's still so much more. But this is the way it has to be to make the kind of work I want to make. So I've tried doing stuff like more simplified styles. And I don't really like how it looks, even though others have looked at it and said that they liked it, but if I don't like it, then I don't enjoy making it, so it's ironic. It's ironic that what I enjoy making is stuff that's really hard to make, and there are parts of it that I don't enjoy, but the overall thing I do, There's a quote or saying or something that's like, if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be worth it, or something like that. I think that's my philosophy. So I've always liked the pieces I've made that gave me the most trouble, or at least took the longest, or the most effort. There was this piece I made for my final painting class in university, and it was really hard. It was physically difficult because it had to be a large piece. For me, a large piece. It was like 24 by 36 or something. It was just huge. This is 7 by 10. So that gives you an idea of how much bigger it is. But it's also like my favorite painting that I've ever done. I really, really like it. It's so big. It's in my closet. One day I hope to get it framed, but it's so big that a frame that big will cost a lot of money. So just trying to keep it safe in my closet until one day I can get it framed and hang it up. So that's an excellent example of something really difficult is also my favorite. I love how this brush comes to a very, very fine tip. I'm able to get into these little corners really, really easily. There we go. That's confirmation. I got my notification on my watch that there's only 10 minutes left. Maybe I'll have a little snack while I'm doing my follow-up work after this. Though it shouldn't be too long before dinner. I don't know. Don't know what I'll do. Man, the only trouble here, I realized, it's going to be a little bit difficult to determine what is Gryphon and what is negative space in the nest, but maybe it doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily have to be discernible. I mean, the point of the coloration on a lot of young animals is so that they can hide and camouflage, so these are predator animals, though. They're fishing animals. Still, the babies probably want to be safe, and that's why they're the different color. So the baby's primary concern is staying safe. The adults, I imagine they have the white underneath because it camouflages them as they're flying, so that anybody looking up at them, the white matches the bright sky. That's my theory. So because the adults' primary concern is not staying safe, but hunting for the next meal. That's my little armchair scientist theory about why they're colored the way they are. And why the babies are a different color. Might need a little bit more water. I'm so glad I wasn't as late getting started as I thought. That's the whole reason I thought it was time to end the stream, was because for some reason in my mind I felt like I was a whole hour late instead of just the 30 minutes that I was actually. Just this tiny little patch left. There are so many little negative spaces on this side. Because a lot of them are covered up on the opposite side because of the flowers. Few more patches to go. Hopefully this paint lasts. I keep having to add water, and the more I add water, the more thinned out the pigment gets, and so the color will be different, slightly different. There's just a few more little sections to go. Painting the negative space, or even drawing the negative space, is always kind of fun because it's not the shapes. You'd never draw these shapes first, so it's just kind of surprising, like, oh wow, look at all these triangles. I didn't notice how many triangles were here. How many, what are they called? Rhomboids, I think? Like rectangles, but not all 90, or not all 45. Is that 45 degrees or is that 90 degrees? I think it's 90 degrees. Not all 90-degree angles. Like little slanted to the side, or one big one and 3 small ones, or whatever. It's fun to see and paint them. What is that? Yeah, this is a 90-degree angle. 180 is flat. So to do a 180 is to turn around. Yeah, okay. are some back here, but they're way higher up. See, this one is about here. Well, let's do some of these. Well, I don't know. I kind of like how the black. I like how the black of these two baby griffins, and then there's this woven sticks behind them. If I add the black, it will make them look like they're merging together more. I can always add it later if I decide that I really want it. Okay, this time for real, there's only 2 minutes left. I can't believe I was going to end so early. No, I can believe it. All day I've been it's just slightly off. Just a little tiny slightly off. Like I'm running at 85% or something. Enough to be fine, but still. Anyway. Let me hold this up in these last couple minutes and show you the progress that we made today. This is pretty good progress, even with missing half an hour of the normal amount of time. Almost all the base colors are done. I think that the only thing left is adding more green to these background areas so that stuff like these flower garlands will stand out better. We got all the plumage base colors done. Maybe I need to put a little bit of color in these eyes, probably. That's it. Yay! Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Even with the 3 little blotches of paint that I ended up doing. And you can hardly tell this one now because once I painted this wing, it covered up a lot of the smudge that I made. So that's good. Oh, yeah, thank you, thank you. Yay, I'm so glad you were able to join me on my first day back. Yay. Yep. Another 3 weeks of streaming, and then I'll take a recovery week. That's really been helping too. Taking the recovery week and just doing like 3-4 weeks of streaming and then a recovery week. I think that's what I need to do because I still have the same packed schedule as ever. All the different things I try to do with my life every day. Oh, I'm so glad everybody was able to join me. Thank you so much. Yay. Oh, but look, it's exactly time. It's exactly time. Let's figure out who we want to raid today. Going on Twitch on my phone first, just to figure. Oh, let's do Margot Simone Art. Because she's the only one that I'm currently following who is live right now. So I'm coming over to my PC and switching my secondary monitor around because I much prefer raiding from my desktop so that I can type with a keyboard instead of on my phone. I hate typing on my phone. Okay, let's move my browser over to the big screen. Let's see. Oh, I will open a new instance of Twitch. A new tab. There we go. Okay, /raid. Yeah. And then Margot Simone. Wait, I spelled that wrong. Simone Art. Is that right? Okay. Let's try it. Yay! The raid has been created. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching today, joining me on my first day back, especially with that I got started so late. I really appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow with another illustration stream, hopefully starting on time and not ending early or anything weird. So, the raid is ready. Let's go! Yay! Looks like the raid worked. If anybody is still on my channel or is watching this on YouTube later, or the recording later on Twitch before it disappears, either way. That's it for me today. I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching!